Thank you so much for coming. First of all, wanted to welcome all of you. Thank you so much for coming. Nice to see you. Okay, thank you for the Shatchaniyot that are sitting over here. God bless you for all your efforts. Okay. Bezrat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. So, what we're talking about today, we're speaking about dating for marriage. Okay, some people they date not for marriage. Okay, our goal is to date for marriage, right? This is what we're talking about. And day of marriage is supposed to be the happiest day in your life. It speaks about Shlomo HaMelech that his wedding day, okay, was B'yom Simchat Libo, the day of his happiness, the great happiness. And this is how marriage or wedding is supposed to be. Many times we see couples that coming to the wedding when they're not certain about their decision, they're worried, they're eating the nails, they're smiling, but you see that the decision wasn't 100% done. They're hesitating, they're wondering, they're smiling to the pictures and to the people, but it's not 100%. How do you know when it's 100% good decision of yours? How do you prevent yourself from all kind of mistakes? Okay, you want to go out with this guy. How do you know he's the one for you? How many times you're dating? What are you looking for in a guy? So many questions that Bezrat Hashem we're going to answer here, and not only today. Today is just the introduction to this subject. Bezrat Hashem, other meetings that we're going to meet also, we're going to try to cover all these subjects. What hishtadlut, what effort is supposed to do to get married to the right one? Do you supposed to write a resume or not? What is supposed to write over there? Who are you supposed to ask questions? Are you supposed to compromise or just to ask for the best? Handsome, beauty, and wealth, and good family, good qualities. What's more important out of those? So, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to speak about all these questions, and let's start with the story. There was a sultan. Sultan, he was a Muslim king years ago, that whatever he decides, whatever he says, you have to fulfill his orders. Otherwise, it's, God forbid, is a death. Right? So once this sultan, he lived in Istanbul, in Turkey, and he met once the chief rabbi of his country, and he said to him, is it true what you say in your religion, in Judaism, that only Hashem makes matches? Well, human beings cannot make matches. I can make matches, and no one can tell me that I cannot do it. The rabbi told him, try. So he decided that he found a very nice, single, beautiful, a girl, and he wrote a letter, and he told her, take this letter and give it to one of my ministers, okay? And he's going to give you $1,000. She didn't know what's in the letter. What was written in the letter was, okay, that this minister of his is supposed to give her $1,000, but also marry her. An order is order. Fine. She's on her way, walking to this minister's house. On the way, met her an old, poor woman. She cries, and she tells her, please, can you help me? Can you give me some charity? I'm looking for some food. I'm hungry, please. And she felt so bad. She didn't have any cash. She didn't have nothing to give her. And she felt bad. And she keeps asking her and begging her. And she told her, you know something? I feel bad for you that I cannot really give you something, but I have a letter over here. You're going to give it to the name over here. He's going to give you money. He's going to give you a nice amount of money. Okay, this old lady took this letter, went to the minister, comes to him and gives him the letter. he reads the letter and he felt so bad. He had to marry this old woman. But what can you do? The king says you have to obey. So he married her. Sometime later, this sultan, this king, made a nice feast party. And he invited all his ministers to come. And as he sits and they sit and they drink and they enjoy, he sees that this minister takes a soft cookie and he puts it in his pocket. The sultan looks at him and tells him, "What are you doing? Why are you taking this soft cookie?" He says, "My wife at home, she doesn't have teeth, and this soft cookie is going to be good for her." "Your wife is old and she doesn't have teeth? What are you talking about? Did you do whatever I told you? Did you marry the girl that I told you to, with the letter?" He said, "Yes, that's what you gave me." The sultan inquired and understood what happened and realized the mistake and came to the rabbi and admitted, "I was wrong. I thought I know. But the truth is that your Hashem, okay, he knows so much better, and he's the one that really mezaveg zivugim, does all the matches." So, I want to ask you a question. Matching or marriage, is it decided in heaven? Or each and one of us can decide, can choose, can select the guy, okay, or the girl, okay, that we want? Is it a destiny? Is it decision from heaven? Or we decide who we're going to marry? This is a question, and it says in Gemara Masechet Sotah, there's a beautiful page there that explains the whole thing. Over there it says, Resh Lakish says, "En mezavgin lo la'adam isha el al pi ma'asav." Everyone gets to get a woman according to his deeds. You're a righteous person, you're going to get a righteous woman. You are wicked, evil, you're going to get an evil. Shenema, like it says, in Batia, it says, "Ki lo yanuach shevet haresha al goral hatzadikim." A wicked person is not going to fall into a family of righteous people, and vice versa. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, how can you say such a thing? And they explain something like that. What do you mean that if you're good, you're going to fall only in a good family? If you're bad, you're going to fall only in bad. We see that sometimes it's not like that. But basically, think about this. When you blame and say you are bad, you are wrong, you are not right, you point a finger, but then you point three fingers back to you. It means if you find false, if you find bad in other people, there is bad in you too. Because you can identify bad only if you have bad in you. For example, a miser or a stingy person, he knows who's stingy and he recognizes them. If you don't know what it is, you don't even recognize this type of people, right? So, Gemara continues, and I'll soon explain it more, and says Rabba Bar Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Kashin lezavgan kekreat Yasuf. It's so hard to match a guy and a girl, kekreat Yasuf, like it was hard, like it was difficult to split the Yam Suf. You know, the Red Sea. When Bnei Israel left Mitzrayim, they came to the sea, and it was so difficult. And so, this is how hard it is to match people. Why? What's exactly hard? What is exactly difficult? Hashem created the heavens and the earth. Hashem created the sun and the moon and all the animals and the oceans and big giant dinosaurs and elephants and I don't know exactly what. And is it hard for him to match people? Why is it hard? Since when is it hard for Hashem to do something? Hashem created the whole world, and this word that's called Bereshit, in the beginning. Initially, Hashem created the world. Everything was created already at that time. With these sayings, how can you say that it's something hard for Hashem? So, the rabbis explain that it's not hard to Hashem. But try to think what was happening during splitting the Yam Suf and see what it is hard. When Hashem split the Yam Suf, He split it to so many sections, and it's like it's taking a whole nation from another nation. You know, there were prisoners over there. You have to take everyone, and everything was precisely to the right measurement. It says when the Egyptians they drowned in the sea, every one of them got a different punishment according to his evilness. If he was bad, so he just drowned in the water. If he was evil, he sank into the water like stone. If he was more, if he was less, everyone got a different punishment according to his deeds. So then the rabbis explain something interesting. Every person is very dynamic. Today you get up and you decide to do a good deed. You're elevating yourself. The next day you're tired and you're not interested to go into shiur or to Torah learning, and or you spoke lashon hara, or you were acting mean to your sister, or you didn't want to take care, you didn't want to babysit. You were evil. You were not good. So you drop in your Yirat Shamayim, you drop in your deeds. Every day you're changing, and every day your mazal. Okay, the other partner that's supposed to marry you, his level of Yirat Shamayim changes too. It's according to you. You good, he's elevating. You going down, he's dropping too. It's unbelievable. It's only Hashem that can determine, that can tell, that can decide which guy is the best for you right now. So basically you could change your fate, you can change whatever is supposed to come to you from heaven. It's according to your deeds. If you're going to be good, if you're going to pray for him, if you're going to try to do your best, okay, Hashem is going to change this fate, this destiny, this mazal, okay, according to your deeds. So you see, it's up to you what type of guy you're going to get. It's not that it was written you're going to get with Abramov, let's say, and he's good for you or he's not good for you, you know. So another thing I'll tell you, it says that every 40 days before the child is born, okay, Yotzet Bat Kol, there's a heavenly voice that says Bat Ploni Lefloni, a daughter of so and so will get to this so and so, to this guy. So again, how can we explain that if it's already says 40 days before we are born? So who goes to who? You probably know it's very, very famous story about King Solomon. King Solomon heard once, you know this story? That his daughter, he dreamt once that his daughter, the princess, is going to marry to a very poor and unalphabetical and ignorant guy. And it bothered him. Why? I'm the king. I'm supposed to give my daughter to this ignorant guy. So he did so much. He was fighting against destiny. He built a tower in the middle of the sea, and he took his daughter and he told his servants, put it over there, take away all the ladders, make sure no one is there, and every day he would send the crow, okay, to give her some food. So there's no connection between her and the world. You know, no Wi-Fi those days, no cell phones, no connection to anything. Poor girl is only there all by her own. And King Solomon thought, so this guy is not going to reach her. One day he's calling the crow and he's asking him, no, how is my daughter? He says, she's good, her husband is good, her child is good. What is her husband? What is child? What are you talking about? He says, that's what I see, that's what I'm telling you. Quickly he ran to his daughter and, what is this? What are you talking about? This poor guy didn't understand what he wants from him. He said, I was looking for food one day and I saw this dead body of a lion. For some reason, he was so cold and he wanted to feel warmth of this dead body, okay? And he got into it and snuggled inside. from nowhere came this eagle, picked him up, and dropped him on top of this tower. Now, what can you do? When Hashem wants something, it's going to happen. And whatever you're going to fight against it, okay, it's not going to help. But our rabbis explain, every one of us should do some kind of hishtadlut. מה זה hishtadlut? Some kind of an effort. What is this effort? What are we talking about? If Avraham Avinu would not send his servant Eliezer to find the right match to his son Yitzchak, his son would not get married to Rivka Imenu. You need to do some kind of a hishtadlut in order for your son to marry a girl. If Yaakov Avinu would not do the hishtadlut, his hishtadlut was even much more, it was even greater. He went himself, it's not a servant, he went himself to find his wife. The problem was, if you know the Midrashim, Eliphaz, the son of Esau, wanted to kill him. So he caught him on the way and wanted to kill him. It was his father's order. Yaakov said, please, 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 you know something, take all whatever I have. It says, Ani chashuv kemet. A poor person considers like that person. I cannot do anything. I have no force. I have no mean to do anything. I cannot really do anything to you. And he agreed, because once he started with him, whatever, he agreed. And he took everything, all the gifts that he prepared for his, future wife. So he couldn't come with all the wealth and gifts that Eliezer, gave to his to Rivka. So he was very poor whenever he came to meet his future wife. And then he saw Rachel. As much as he tried all the efforts in the world, he didn't marry to Rachel first. He married Leah. What can you explain here? Well, how can you explain that? Okay, we know that here we see that Leah Imenu, she prayed so much. She prayed so much, and she got to get married to Yaakov even before Leah because of her prayers. Means that if somebody prays so much, he can change the destiny. He can change the mazal. Okay? So she got married to him first. Doesn't matter. So he was trying to have the simani, special signs between him and Rachel. He was trying to give the conditions, what he wants from Lavan. Berachel, bitcha, aktana, I want this, I want that. Didn't help him. He first got married to Leah. We see so many examples in the Torah that somebody wanted something, he didn't get it, he got something else. Yehuda gave his son Er to Tamar. Er died. And then he gave his second one, Onan. He also died. And the third one he didn't want to give because he was scared. And he was a baby or whatever. So much he avoided, this his son to get married to this Tamar again. Eventually, somehow he didn't even understand how he himself, produced from her, the dynasty of Malchut Bet David. We cannot understand these things. When Hashem wants something, it happens. So here's what it says. We'll go back to Rachel and Leah. It says, "Mutar le'ares isha bechol hamoed." Usually we don't do weddings on Chol HaMoed, on a holiday. Why not? Because it says, "En ma'arbavim simcha b'simcha." Don't put two things together. Find a different date and do the wedding. Aval le'ares, but to get engaged, it's allowed on Chol HaMoed. Why? Shema yakdimena acher. Because somebody else can grab her, can take her. How? If it's destiny, if it's named, if it's pronounced already in heaven, if people already declared, how could it be? Betfilah, berachamim. Kmo Leah Imenu. She prayed so much to Hashem, and Hashem made this happen, and she got married first to Yaakov. Yaakov wanted to prevent Dinah, his daughter, to get married to Esau. He put her in a box, whatever. What happened? It says, Midrashim says, you wanted to prevent her to marry, לא ביקשת להסיעה דרך היתר, הרי נישאת דרך איסור. Okay, you didn't want her to get married the right way with him. She's going to get married in a, I don't know, in a forbidden way, or in a not the right way, or and you know that Shem ben Hamor, he abducted her, and she was taken by a non-Jewish person with force. So here we see that sometimes we're trying something very much, it's not working. And sometimes because Hashem has his own way how to make this thing happen, and it happens in a totally different way that you didn't even expect. You didn't think it's going to happen this way, but that's the way Hashem wants it to happen, and we have no way of knowing how shidduchim are formed. That's the beauty of shidduchim. The rabbis explain that in shidduchim we could see so clearly the Hashgachat Hashem, the divine providence, how Hashem conducts His world, how Hashem runs everything, how Hashem orchestrates everything. We have no way of saying, we cannot really understand sometimes how things are happening, and that's a beautiful thing. I wanted to tell you about research that was done just recently. It was one of the longest researches that were doing. University of Harvard did this research, very prestige, that checked people for 80 years. Okay, it's not a research for 2, 3, 5, a decade. 80 years, it's like 4 decades. And they checked thousands and thousands of people. I wanted to see what makes people happy. Okay, they wanted to see, I'll tell you what makes a good life. Okay, they check their physical aspects, and the mental, and the emotional, and the health, okay? And they found to know something interesting. Marital satisfaction has a protective effect on people's mental health, okay? Those who kept warm relationships got to live longer and happier. Loners often died earlier because loneliness kills. What it says in the beginning of relationship in the Torah, in Parashat Bereshit, Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado, נכון? See, they had to do, after 3,000 and something years, a research for 80 years to get to this simple sentence that's written in the Torah. Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. A person is happier when he's married, but when he's married to the right one, right? So what do we do to get married to the right one? The Western world today, systematically we see it, how they strive, how they want to be loners. What do I mean by that? Okay, we have today the social networks. What does the social? It's something very interesting. You want to be known, you want to be seen by people, you advertise yourself, but in a way, you're very, very lonely. What is selfie? Selfie is taking pictures of you every second, showing where you have visited, what did you do, what type of food, which restaurant you went to, which relationship, or if you're happy, you show that you're happy and you're hugging and this and that. And looks like that's the top, people are trying to get attention through this, but in a way, people are very, very lonely. She could text to the whole world and write about her in Facebook, but she doesn't know how to communicate with her husband that is next to her. Sometimes they communicate with each other through the phone, not even talking. What does it mean? It's a ridiculous way that people don't know how to communicate with each other. Marriage is to give. We, in today's century, in today's world, we just want to get. We don't know how to give. And that's a problem. You cannot build good relationship with someone when you constantly are obsessed with yourself and you cannot give from yourself. Okay? And if I'll ask a typical girl, let's say, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? First thing that I will hear will be handsome, money, family, right? These are the things that people look at. What?
A good guy.
Huh?
A good guy.
A good guy. What does it mean, a good guy?
Fine good guy.
What does it mean?
Like a guy that respects you, treats you well, respects your parents. Like for me, that's what it means.
Okay.
People's character, treats them.
So people are again trying to look to be happy. Somebody should be respecting me, treating me the right way, treating my parents the right way. It's again all about me.
And each other. Like,
Okay, so that's already
like, respect each other. Like he respects my parents, I respect your parents.
okay.
Not like do things together. It's not my way, your way, my way.
Beautiful. This now we're progressing a little bit more because this is so much better. There is no link between the external look of a guy, okay, and the quality of your marriage. They didn't find any link with the beauty of a person. Same would be with a girl, beauty of a girl, okay, and the quality of relationship with a husband. Sometimes a guy could be handsome. He knows how to be tact, with tact, you know, how to handle people, how to be with their parents, blah, 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 but doesn't, let's say, make her feel happy or calm her down or relaxes her or, okay, so we're looking for quality, okay? What do you think? What's better, to find this handsome guy but nervous or bitter or angry guy, or somebody that is maybe short, maybe dark skinned, maybe not the best looking, but he calms you down, he brings the best out of you, he respects you. Obviously we're looking for midot. Speaks about Rav Batia Yosef, that when he was dating with one of the girls that he dated before he got married to his wife, she once asked him if they can go to the movies. And he told her, what am I going to do in the movies? It's not sanua, you're going to see all kind of people. It's not nice, it's not appropriate to Ben Torah to watch a movie. It's not a good idea. She got very upset. What do you mean? So all our life we're never going to go to the movies? He says, what do you want me to do there? So she went to her father and she says, I don't want to get married to him. He's not modern. He's too religious. It's not for me. And so they said no to Rav Batia. Baruch Hashem, he got married later on to the Rabbanit, Alea Shalom, to Rabbanit Magalit. Baruch Hashem, built a nice family and everything. In his late years, once this lady came back to the rabbi, she came to his helper and she told him, tell the rabbi that his first shidduch is here. So he came to the rabbi and he asked him, what should I do? He said, bring her in. So she came inside and she started crying to the rabbi. Rabbi, I'm so sorry, I did such a wrong decision, it wasn't right, I regret all my life, rejecting Gadol Hador. Besides, he happened to hear from her that she was a barren woman, never had children, and had a miserable life, okay? What I'm trying to say is, Baruch Hashem, Rav Batia is supposed to build a nice family, children, all Talmidei Chachamim, and etc., etc. When we're looking for someone, for a quality of a person, we look for the characteristics of the person, what type of a family he's coming from, who is he himself, Okay, not only his looks or his money. Let's give some guidance to some tips for dating. Number one, I'm starting with this and I will end with this too. Prayer is the most important thing that you could do to advance your shidduch, to make it better, to make it much more quality. Okay, praying before each and every date. Okay, not only in the beginning and when you see everything goes okay. So no, you need siyata deshmaya. You need help from heaven every step of the way till the day of the wedding and after the wedding as well. You need every second. You need this siyata deshmaya from Hashem. To trust Hashem that He's the only one that can help you. Because what happened to us in Kriyat Yam Suf, in the splitting of the sea, Hashem put the Jews in such a state that they didn't know what to do. They came to the sea. The sea wasn't open, split for them, waiting for them to come in. It was, a lot of waves, and it was deep sea. The Egyptians are chasing after them, running, coming closer. What should they do now? So what Hashem wanted to see is the trust that these Jews have towards Him. They jumped into the water, even though it wasn't open for them. They trust Hashem completely, and this is when the miracle happened. When you trust Hashem that you are in His hand and He's going to guide you the best way. Okay, this is when Bezrat Hashem, a miracle will happen, and not to despair. People date 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Sometimes people date tens of times. And it's not happening, and it's not happening, and it's not happening. And we don't understand why it happens. Sometimes you think you have no fault, everything is good, you're a good family, you could provide. Why it's not working? No guarantees. No guarantees why a certain girl has to meet 10 guys, and the other one, the first one that she went with, she got engaged with this. No guarantees. We cannot forecast these things and know in advance what's going to happen. The best guys in the yeshiva thought, it's going to go smooth for them. Sometimes they're stuck. And the opposite, kids that you think, they come from very difficult family. Financially he's not stable. This and this and that. His looks, this and that. And these people are getting married, and you don't understand, how come they have such a good luck? So prayer and to pray that if this is the right one, it should go smooth and easy. And if it's not the right one, it should end smooth and easy too. Because sometimes, they put pressure on you. No, go out. No, give it another chance. No. And you just don't know, how to avoid these people. So if it's not the right one, it should end easy and smooth too. This is a nice prayer too. But every prayer is the basic hishtadut, basic effort that you could do for your shidduch. Number 2, define yourself. You have to know who you are. Are you religious? Are you ultra religious? Are you modern? Do you want just somebody that is, traditional? You secular? If you know who you are, it's going to be easier for you to know who you're looking for, because obviously you want the same kind of a level. If you define yourself what you want, you're not going to end in a situation where you're religious, and here he tells you that he's barber and he works on Shabbat. How did you come to there? What are you supposed to do now? So define and let the people that you dealing with the shidduch know what you're looking for and which level you are, so that they will match you, the right guy, the right level, and everything. It won't make sense when, let's say a girl that's not religious, she's going to wear provocative, not sanua, and she's dating with a guy with a kippah that keeps Shabbat and praying 3 times a day. It doesn't work together. Number 3, very, very important is to invest in checking on the guy. Who is he? Which family? Where they're coming from? To know a little bit about the families. Nothing wrong with this. If you are doing it through the Shadchanit, you can ask questions. If you got just the resumes usually, they write details. Which yeshiva he went to, what's his age, what's his level of religion, what is he looking for, reference numbers. Reference numbers have a lot of it. You could get a lot of information from reference numbers. A lot of people will say, oh, he's a nice guy, he's a good family, don't worry. But you want to know more details, you want to ask nicely, not in a nicely. You want to ask questions and not to call only the people in the reference numbers only. If you know people that know him, not written on this resume, ask them too, because these people can, tell you an information that the people in the resume didn't say, or something like that, which is very, very important. Not to be embarrassed to call the people in the resume, to call his rabbis, to call his friends. Friends, they say the most information, more than the rabbi sometimes, and more than just a friend of the family. Friends, they say the most information. And don't ask, tell me about him, because they don't know what to answer to this kind of a question. Be specific. Is he an angry person? Or how is he with money? Does he help his friends? Or give me an example of, if you're specific with a question, they'll answer you. Otherwise, they'll tell you, give me a specific question and I'll answer according to that. Ask about the health condition of him. Okay? If there's some problems or not. Ask about the mental condition of him. Ask about, you can ask a little bit about the financial, if people know, I don't know if they know this kind of things. If he's stable in whatever he does. A guy that switches a yeshiva every 5 months, he's in a different yeshiva, he's not stable, and it's going to be very difficult for him to be stable in the relationship also. A guy that switches his job every second, it also may show that he has problem with stability, or so these things that you could find out. Ask if you could find about the relationship between him and his parents. Somebody that has good relationship with his parents, sometimes you're scared, he's going to go to them every second. No, if he has good relationship with his parents, he's going to have, Bezrat Hashem, good relationship with you. A guy that cannot respect his mother will have problems with respecting you too. Don't be afraid. The quality guys, they have good relationship with their parents. Don't be scared of that. It's a very good thing. So so this is basically what you're looking for. They say, don't judge a book by its cover. You see him for the first time, and we know that first impression, you don't have a second chance for the first impression. That's most people, they make their decisions, they say in the first 7 seconds of seeing this person. They already decide if they like this person overall or not. But it could be that the first meeting, first date, he was very nervous. He didn't find his way or something, or he got too late to the date, and he's not so focused, or he's too nervous, or could be. Give him another chance, unless you see that it's nothing to talk about, so it's something else. But if overall is okay, in the resume it was okay, but the first date wasn't the best thing, sometimes you may give it another chance, because could be that he was a little bit nervous or something. Don't try to take projects upon yourself. Meaning, if you see that he's coming from a very, very, very difficult family, you say to yourself, I'm going to straighten him up. No, don't try it. You put yourself, you don't know even what you put yourself into. Sometimes it's very challenging, and you're going to despair, and sometimes get disappointed, and sometimes get angry, and you don't need this frustration. You definitely should ask a rabbi and get a guidance what to do, if to proceed with this shidduch or not. So this is something that you want to take care. Don't date for, I don't know, 6 months or a year or for a long time. Because, you know, girls especially, they get attached emotionally. And you get used to the person. And if you date with him for a very, very long time, it's very hard to break off this shidduch afterwards. You're going to try to do whatever you can, but not to say no, because you get attached to the person. And so when you come to the date, come with logic, not with emotions. If you come with emotions, you're going to fall in love, and then you don't look for faults. You cannot be critical. You cannot criticize. And you need to stay focused. You need to be logical. You need to think. Okay? It's very good to, every time when you come home, to make yourself a table and write advantages and write disadvantages and see, you know, which disadvantages, and see if it's, you know, if you like, you know, whatever he has or not. Each and every date, if possible, just summarize a little bit how was you feeling. Every date is supposed to have some kind of a progress. You know, don't stay in the same stage the whole time. You have to have some kind of a progress in each and every date. It's not supposed to be a test. Okay, are you coming from a small family, a big family? Are you planning to work or to study? Is your mother or whatever? This is not the right way, and this no one likes to be tested this way, right? You don't like this type of questions too. But be focused. Every date, think, what is my goal this date? What am I trying to reach today? What am I trying to get today? And summarize. Or if you didn't progress this time, try to do it again next time, you know, in a different way, and so on. People are asking, what about love? Aren't we supposed to have some kind of a feeling towards each other before we get married? What do you think? What about love? So love is something that you could develop. As I said before, you try to eliminate a little bit the emotions. Try to think logically. Then you see that once you're ready to open up for this person, once there is a commitment, Bezrat Hashem, okay, then you see that you can develop love. Then you could see that you can ignite love. Then you could see that you could intensify love, make it greater, make it stronger, you could do it. Okay? So in the beginning, try to be logical. Many people, when they date for many long datings and long hours and for a long time, they waste time. Sometimes they just want to have good time together. She thinks to herself, you know, if I have good time together, I'll have good time together after the wedding too. But the more that you date, you know, naturally people have some disagreements. And they start arguing, and they start not agree on all kind of things, and then you start having doubts, and then you're not sure, and then this, and you go back and forth, and it's hard for you to decide. And time passed by. And after a while you say to yourself, well, I dated for him such a long time, now I'm going to drop him. And you're scared to take this decision. And people, especially secular people, they take their time and they take their time and they take their time. You know what happens when people get older and older and older? It's hard for them to make a decision. The older you get, the harder it is for you to decide. It's like somebody coming to a pool and he's afraid to jump into the water. He stays there, he's not jumping, he's not doing anything. And time passes. And meanwhile, this person didn't learn how to swim and he didn't get to jump into the water. Young kids from young age, they just jump into the water and they have no choice. They learn to swim. There's no choice. When you get married, when you're younger, it's so much easier. I always, when I speak with married women also, I gave this example. A woman that's married young, she's not scared to get pregnant. She's not even thinking about consequences and stuff. When you get older, when you're 30 and up, you have doubts, you're thinking, you heard so many complications that could happen in a pregnancy. So many people got sick in this, or got a problem with that, or risk pregnancies and this and that, so they're getting scared to get pregnant even. The same would be with marriage. When you hear so many people that have problems with this, and with in-laws, and with financially, and with the apartment, and this and that, you hear, you're scared to make a decision. The older you get, the more difficult it gets. So the younger you are, okay, it's good to jump into the water because you learn to swim. There's no other way. And Bezrat Hashem, Hashem should guide you, and very important to be in touch with a rabbi that will guide you and tell you, if to continue with the shidduch, and if there's somebody, a rabbi in the middle, it makes it so much easier. Okay. The meetings, the dates, supposed to be with purpose. As I said before, every date you need to get some more information about him, to understand, to know his opinions even more and more, to ask him, to see if you have the same, let's say, values in life, you have the same targets, same goals in life. Another thing that you could check is, what is the level of spirituality of both of you? What do you think about kids' education? Of course, it's later on in the meetings, right? What about media in the house? Are we approving Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, some other smartphone? Or not at all? These are things that you could speak about them, give all kind of scenarios of all kind of circumstances that happens, and discuss them. See what's his opinion. If you don't attack him and tell him something about it, he is not scared to open up and to give his peace of mind. So it's good that you create yourself and sit at home and do homework. Create all kind of scenarios. My friend told me what do you think about this? My second cousin, she has this and this and this problem. How would you approach that? All kind of scenarios. Invent scenarios that you want to focus on. You want to speak about them, and Bezrat Hashem, you're going to see what is his opinion about all this stuff. What else? Very important also, what should be supposed to be the level of the speech in the house. Some people, when they're exposed to the media, they're exposed to the TV, to the movies, they learn, unfortunately, how to speak in a slang way of talking, or God forbid cursing, or kind of not appropriate speech. Talk about this. See what's his opinion. See yourself, what's your opinion about that? What is the husband's role in the house? What is the wife's role in the house? See what he expects from you. You tell him what you expect from him. See if you're on the same page. Can you admit some of his advantages? Some of his disadvantages? You see that he has some kind of a problem. Can you speak or admit this problem? Or in a way you're blind and you don't care at that moment. Later on it will bother you, but now you don't care. It's very important to sit and talk about all these things to yourself. Even let's say you see that he has a problem. Let's say you see that he has a problem with anger management. Would you marry him even if he doesn't change? No. No. So Some girls will come to a different realization. Let's say she's desperate. Let's say, I don't know what exactly the problem. Everyone should, answer her own what's good for her, what's not good for her. Get out of the box. What do I mean by getting out of the box? Sometimes people, they imagine to themselves an imaginary image. I want the guy to look this way. I want him to work in this type of a job. I want me, myself, and him to look this way. She built herself an imaginary world, and if it's not working this way, you miss out very good offers. Because my daughter told me yesterday a story. I don't know the source of the story, but she told me this. It's very interesting. She dreamt once a dream that she's supposed to meet this guy that has a purple and yellow tie, let's say, and has this type of a shoes and this type of a coat, let's say. She dreamt this. So every guy that she's dating with, she's checking if he has this type of a clothing. If he doesn't, she rejects them. She rejects. She met this nice guy that was really good with her, and they had good time with each other. But she told him no just because of that, because he didn't have this weird tie and whatever she dreamt about. Later on, somehow, miraculously, she really did meet this guy. But then she realized that he has a problem with money. He's not so easy with money, he's a bit, and then she saw there was a problem with his family, and then she saw there's a problem with some other character trait that she didn't like, but she tried to ignore because she needs to fulfill this dream that she dreamt. And then the guy told her no. Through the matchmaker. She went back to her mother and she said, "Can you speak with the matchmaker?" Because she says no. He said no. We cannot go back to him. She says no. I want you to speak to ask the approval of the first one. Because only now she realized that the first one was probably her match, not the one that was in her dreams, right? So be realistic. See what's good for you, not according to images that you put to yourself. First impression, okay, it's very, very important. As we said before, no second chance for first impression. Very important to prepare yourself nicely to the first date. As we said before, the first 7 seconds, okay, he decides already if he likes you or not. So, to be prepared, to look nice, take a shower, smell good, cover up, put some makeup, look good so that you are going to feel good about yourself. It's not only that you try to please him, you try to feel, if you feel good with yourself, you screen it out to him too. He feels that. And he will like whatever he sees. Okay? So it's very important that you present yourself the right way. Later on, we're going to speak about details, how to prepare yourself to a date and so on. Today is just, some tips, basic tips, whatever you should do. And let's finish with one story. You might have heard this story. I think it's a great story that teaches, that has a lot. Many people, when the shidduch is stuck, and you try and it's not working out, they try all kind of sgulot, which is very good to do all kind of sgulot. Either to pray for another person that's also looking for shidduch, pray for me, I'll pray for you, you pray for me, or all kind of stuff. So this guy, he was looking for shidduch for a long time, and just didn't happen. And he heard about the sgula, that if he's going to say Shir Shirim for 40 days, consecutive 40 days, with a lot of meaning, and with ta'amim, to sing it also, every time at the midnight, okay, it's a sgula that after the 40th day is going to hear for a good shidduch. And it's true, we know that if you say Shirat Hayam Bechavana also, okay, Not only Shir Hashirim, also Shirat Haim. It's a good school for that. So he was trying, and he did for the whole 40 days. He gets up at midnight. It's not easy to get up at midnight. And he's saying all these Shir Hashirim with kavanah, with happiness, out loud. And he's waiting for good news, and he doesn't hear it. So he said, I guess I didn't do it right. And he starts it all over. Another 40 days to say Shir Hashirim, to get up in the middle of the night, at midnight, to say it out loud and with a lot of kavanah. 40 days passed, didn't happen. And his friends are making fun of him already. It's not for you, this Gola, try a different Gola. He says, no, I want to try. And he tries another cycle of 40 days. And Baruch Hashem, in the 40th day, he heard a good offer. He started to go out with this girl, and Baruch Hashem, they were able to engage. So Baruch Hashem, in the engagement party, her father gets up and he says, I want to tell you something interesting. I have 4 daughters. 4 of them were stuck in Shidduchim for such a long time. But somehow, miraculously, every 40 days lately, one of my daughters got engaged. First one got engaged, okay, so then the second one, and this is how, Baruch Hashem, now the last one is engaged. So the guy is asking, hold on a second, when was these days? They're checking the days, they said that exactly the same day that he was able to finish for every 40 days, another sister of her got engaged, and this is how it paved the road and opened his mazal. Bezat Hashem, in your weddings, Bezat Hashem, Besorot Tovot. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.